I need the Commission to understand what's going on here.
Okay, it was done on the 14th of July on page 100.
Yes, ma'am.
14 July 2026. Okay, you may go ahead.
Thank you, Advocate. Thank you, Commissioners. And thank you for indulging me. I couldn't understand how this couldn't be in the bundle. Thank you.
You can just start on page 93, paragraph 4. You don't need to read your details into the record.
I need to read my details into the record at paragraph
No,
4.
don't. You just start on paragraph 4. I have been informed by police official.
Thank you, Advocate. I have been informed by police official that has signed this statement in terms of Section 9 of the Justice of Peace Commissioner of Oath Act 16 of 1963. Any person who in an affidavit, affirmation or solemn or attested declaration made before a competent person to administer an oath or affirmation or take it knowingly, it to be false, commits an offence, and that according to the same section, I will be liable to the penalties prescribed by the law for the offence of perjury. May I continue?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I was arrested on 5 May 2026 by the Political Killing Stars team at my parliamentary residence where I reside, namely Pelican Park Parliamentary Village in Cape Town. The reason for my arrest is related to charges of fraud and defeating or obstructing the course of justice. This charge is related to my visit to a KwaZulu-Natal prison, namely the Westville prison, where I visited an incarcerated inmate, Mr. Bongi Nkosi Antli Dlamini. My alleged criminal case is before the Pinestown Magistrates Court and is ongoing. I, Fadiel Adams, my attorney at the record of time, Mr. Schroeder, requested clarity from the KZN police officer that contacted him, namely Lieutenant Colonel Majila. The request was to clarify the charges I was to be charged for, and most importantly, how they managed to obtain for a matter unknown to myself and my attorney. My attorney, Mr. Schroeder, was not provided with any further details regarding this arrest of myself, and he advised me that he would approach the Western Cape High Court to address this cloak and dagger approach being conducted by the PKTT. The Western Cape High Court ruled in my favour and ordered the PKTT to hand over the warrant and the supporting documents used to obtain such a warrant. The PKTT ignored the High Court order issued on 4th May 2026, case number 2026-09922. They proceeded to arrest me on 5th of May 2026. We have since received the statement of the investigating officer, Sergeant Mavuka, a member of the Political Killing Stars team. The following observations were made upon analyzing the statement of Sergeant Mavuka. I have attached 2 affidavits from Sergeant Mavuka that were deposed to on 29th of April and the 30th of April. Here to attach as FP1 and FP2 respectively, which were both in aid of obtaining a J50 warrant for my arrest. These affidavits have some serious misstatements contained in them, and it is clear that information that was falsified created the impression that I am evading and will probably evade being arrested. The request for my approach was duly signed off by the respective magistrate that Sergeant Mavuka approached. Sergeant Mavuka claims in his affidavit FP1 that he is an experienced officer of the law with 21 years experience, policing experience, and 15 years in the investigative environment. I find the errors made by Sergeant Mavuka in order to obtain my arrest warrant to be deliberate and malicious. I have listed some of the falsified statements of Sergeant Mavuka that is contained in 2 affidavits, named FP1 and FP2. The affidavit for this application, I will not read paragraph 10, Commissioners, just to save time, but I'm sure that you will peruse this. All of the statements made by Sergeant Mavuka in his affidavit, namely FP2, was false and resulted in obtaining a J50 warrant for my incarceration for an 11-day period from the 5th of May to the 15th of May when I received bail at the Pinetown Magistrate Court. In the affidavit here to attach as FP1, Sergeant Mavuka states that Mr. Ngenwa deposed a statement to me which has resulted in the impeding on the criminal case of Mr. Sindiso Magaka. This is a false statement, as I did not commission or write any statement from Mr. Ngenwa. I think, Commissioners, because some of these aspects are still ongoing in court, I'm just going to skip certain things, but you are free to read it. But what I want to say is, if you go to the FP1 and FP2, or rather, as I should put it, if you give me 1 second, to page 128, 127, Where's the other one? Let's say we started page 121, where Sergeant Mavuka says in paragraph 5 on the 29th of April that I am investigating a member of Parliament, Mr. Fadiel Adams. This is in his submission to the prosecutor. He's investigating a member of Parliament, Mr. Fadiel Adams. However, when Sergeant Mavuka approaches the magistrate, and I ask that you just assist me for the last line, and I can give you a clearer picture on my phone. This is the way we have it. On the 30th, the very next day, to the magistrate in chambers, he says he's not sure if the suspect is still a member of Parliament. And also, Sergeant Mavuka says that his investigation, just further up, and I know it's terrible, but this is what they gave us. This is the copy they gave us, but we have a clearer copy taken on phone.
What page are you on?
128 still.
Okay.
He tells the magistrate that his investigation has revealed that the suspect has multiple addresses in multiple provinces. And I do feel, commissioners, that he must come here and prove that, because I've never lived outside of Cape Town, and for the last 20 years I've never lived out of Mitchell's Plain. And the longest I've ever been out of the Western Cape was maybe 5 or 6 days when I'm busy with my work. I've never lived outside of the province. So for a detective with 15 years of experience to go to before a magistrate in order to attain a warrant arrest for a Schedule 1 accusation which asks for no more than a warning statement. He says that this man has multiple provinces across the, multiple addresses across the country, number one. And number two, despite the fact that yesterday I admitted he's a member of Parliament, today I'm telling you I'm unsure if he's a member of Parliament. A simple Google search could have fixed that for him. And on this basis, a warrant of arrest was granted. And this is what I feel I must draw to your attention. Now, if you look at 127, this is how they comply to a court order compelling them to hand over the documents. That is what they think of the High Court. This is what the PKTT does. So, what I'm saying to you, commissioners, is that after I'd been alerted that the PKTT were going to trump up a case against me. Now, I understand this is before the court. I don't want to talk too much. I emailed General Mkwanazi and the National Commissioner, Mr. Masimola, and the Minister of Police, and I said, if you have a valid warrant, don't send the PKTT to me. And it says so in my annexures here. I'll come to you. What do? They don't respond. They send the PKTT like 2 weeks later. A family is assaulted and traumatized because they go to the wrong house. But they refuse to give names. They did not clock in at the local police station, which is a requirement. And it is for this reason that I ask, is this a hit squad? Are these people coming to kill or to arrest? And it's on this basis that we go to the High Court asking to see the warrant. The High Court says, yes, we feel that you are entitled to this. What does the PKTT do? They ignore the High Court. They arrest me anyway. What do then? They lie to my family. They say they're taking him to Grassy Park. But you must remember, this is in the middle of a storm. They put me in the back of a van. They drove me 8 hours. It stopped raining when we got to PE. Commissioner, have you ever been relieved to be inside of a police cell? I was, because it was dry. I was not afforded clean clothing, my medication, everything denied. They didn't even tell my family where I was. The next day, they continued to drive to Durban. They still didn't tell my family where I was. Now remember, I'm under the impression that the PKTT is a hit squad, parts of it. What is my family to think? What are my children to think? After observing the behavior of these people, they came onto the precinct of Parliament. Even when I told them, just wait, I'm just going to get a jacket and a pair of socks, I'll come to you. They invaded Parliament. Parliament did not take action. And all of this because I opened criminal charges. The head of the PKTT, Tumusani Kumalo, the man who was on trial for cases that I laid. His bail conditions forbid him from tampering with witnesses. This went ahead. I get to court. My bail is it's contested as if I'm a serial rapist. The prosecutor tells the court that I was divorced. In my bail application, the prosecutor is named in the affidavit that they claim I took. Or in an affidavit they claim I took, in a negative way. At the very least, he should have recused himself. I also asked you, just to look at the statement of Sergeant Carlton Thomas. If I can, I saw it now, and I hope to find it.
Can you please try to summarize it?
I'm finishing, Chief. Justice.
I'm not chief, please.
Sorry, Buta. It's just that's how we address an elder
am not
in Cape
chief.
Town. Sorry, Commissioner. So Carlton Thomas, he alleges, Sergeant Carlton Thomas, a man that I've never met, he alleges that Sergeant Mavuka and Sergeant Sikona, who happened to be my arresting officer and my investigating officer, months before my arrest, held him in General Mkwanazi's boardroom, demanding that he make a statement implicating me in my trip from the airport to Westville Prison, which he refused to do. Now, what I'm trying to get at Commissioner, is Sergeant Carlton Thomas could have no way of knowing that this is the man who's investigating me and this is the man who will eventually arrest me. But he puts it on paper months in advance. And I'm going to end it there because, like I say, the matter is before the courts and I shouldn't talk about it. But I think that essentially concludes what I came to say. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So, Mr. Adams, then those are the only statements that you want to refer to, correct?